Hidden in plain sight, one of the most misunderstood behaviors on social media has very little to do with confidence, popularity, or even privacy. Every day, millions of people share their thoughts, post their photos, and document their lives online. The digital world rewards visibility. It encourages people to stay active, stay present, and stay seen. Yet there is another group of people moving quietly through these same platforms. They scroll without posting. They observe without announcing themselves. They remain present, but rarely place themselves at the center of attention. To many outsiders, this behavior seems confusing. Some assume these individuals are shy. Others assume they lack confidence. Some even believe they are hiding from the world. But psychology suggests a very different explanation. In fact, many empaths choose not to show themselves on social media for reasons that are far deeper than most people realize. Their silence is often intentional. Their absence is often meaningful. And the real reason behind it reveals fascinating truths about emotional sensitivity, human behavior, and the hidden effects of the digital world. What makes this topic so interesting is that social media was designed to pull people toward visibility. The more attention a person receives, the more encouraged they are to keep sharing. Likes, comments, reactions, and followers create a system that constantly rewards exposure. Yet many empaths seem resistant to this cycle. Instead of chasing attention, they often pull away from it. Instead of revealing more, they reveal less. While others are focused on being noticed, empaths are often focused on understanding. This difference may appear small on the surface, but it creates a completely different relationship with social media. The deeper researchers study emotional sensitivity and human connection. The more they discover that highly empathetic people experience online environments in ways that most people never fully understand. In this video, we will uncover the psychological reasons why many empaths avoid showing themselves online. We will explore how emotional absorption affects their behavior, why social media can feel overwhelming to them, why privacy feels safer than attention, and why validation from strangers often holds little value in their eyes. You will also learn why empaths tend to observe more than they perform, why protecting their energy becomes a priority, and why many of them would rather be known for who they truly are than for the image they create online. As we move through these insights, a surprising pattern begins to emerge. One that challenges many of the assumptions people make about quiet individuals in the digital age. Make sure you stay until the very end because the final reason may completely change the way you view social media, authenticity, and emotional intelligence. It also explains why some of the strongest and most self-aware people are often the least visible online. If you enjoy psychology, personal growth, empath insights, and discovering the hidden motivations behind human behavior, you are in the right place. Welcome to the channel. Subscribe now and join us as we explore the deeper side of the human mind. One of the biggest misunderstandings about empaths is that people assume they are quiet because they have less to say. In reality, many empaths are processing far more than they ever express. While others may quickly react to what they see, hear, or experience, empaths often absorb those experiences on a much deeper level. A simple conversation can stay in their mind for hours. A change in someone's mood can affect them long after the interaction ends. An emotional atmosphere that other people barely notice can leave a lasting impression on them. This ability to absorb emotional information is one of the defining characteristics of an empath. They are constantly reading between the lines. They notice facial expressions, tone of voice, energy shifts, and subtle emotional signals that many people overlook. Because of this, their inner world is often much busier than it appears from the outside. This deeper processing affects the way they use social media. Every time someone posts online, they are not simply sharing a photo or a thought. They are opening a door for reactions, opinions, judgments, interpretations, and emotional responses from dozens, hundreds, or sometimes thousands of people. For many users, this feels normal. It is simply part of being online. But for an empath, that same experience can feel very different. They understand that every post creates an emotional exchange. Every comment carries energy. Every reaction has meaning. Even a lack of reaction can trigger thoughts and emotions. While some people enjoy this constant interaction, empaths often become aware of how emotionally demanding it can be. Many people focus only on what they are posting. Empaths often focus on what comes back. They think about how their words might affect others. They wonder how people will interpret what they share. They consider reactions before they even happen. This does not necessarily mean they are insecure. In many cases, it means they are highly aware of emotional consequences. Their minds naturally explore different possibilities and outcomes. As a result, posting online can require far more emotional energy than most people realize. This deeper awareness creates a unique relationship with visibility. Many people feel excited when attention increases. Empaths often feel responsibility increase instead. More attention means more reactions. More reactions mean more emotional information to process. Over time, this can become exhausting. What begins as a simple social media post can turn into a stream of emotional input that never fully stops. Messages arrive, comments appear, opinions emerge, expectations develop. Suddenly, a space that was supposed to feel casual starts demanding emotional resources. For this reason, many empaths prefer to keep certain parts of their lives private, not because they are hiding, but because they understand the emotional cost of constant exposure. They know that visibility often attracts both positive and negative energy. Praise can feel overwhelming. Criticism can linger longer than expected. Even neutral interactions can require emotional processing. As a result, many empaths become careful about what they share and how often they share it. The more emotionally sensitive a person is, the more noticeable this pattern becomes. Instead of seeking attention, they begin protecting their emotional space. Instead of broadcasting every experience, they keep many experiences for themselves. Instead of constantly inviting others into their personal world, they become selective about who receives access. Their silence is not emptiness. It is often the result of deep emotional activity happening beneath the surface. This emotional sensitivity leads directly to another reason many empaths stay quiet online. For them, social media is not just a collection of posts and updates. It can feel like an endless stream of emotional signals competing for attention every second of the day. The average social media feed contains hundreds of emotional messages: happiness, anger, excitement, fear, frustration, celebration, conflict, comparison. Every scroll introduces another emotional experience. Most people move through this information quickly. They react and continue scrolling. Empaths often experience it differently. They absorb pieces of these emotions, whether they intend to or not. As a result, social media can begin to feel less like entertainment and more like emotional noise. One moment, someone is celebrating success. The next moment, someone is sharing a personal struggle. Then comes an argument, a controversial opinion, a complaint, a shocking headline, or a story designed to trigger outrage. The emotional atmosphere changes constantly. For many empaths, this creates a sense of mental clutter. Their attention is repeatedly pulled in different directions. Their emotional system receives more input than it can comfortably process. Psychologists sometimes describe a related phenomenon called emotional contagion. This refers to the tendency for emotions to spread between people. Human beings naturally influence each other's emotional states. A cheerful person can improve the mood of an entire group. A negative person can create tension in a room. The same process can happen online. Even through screens, emotions can transfer from one person to another. Repeated exposure to negativity can affect mood. Constant exposure to anxiety can increase stress. Endless comparison can slowly change the way people feel about themselves. Empaths are often especially sensitive to these emotional transfers. They may not consciously notice every emotional influence, but they frequently feel the effects. After scrolling for long periods, they can feel mentally drained without understanding exactly why. Their minds have been processing dozens of emotional experiences that do not even belong to them. The exhaustion is real, even when the source is invisible. This helps explain why many empaths suddenly take breaks from social media. To others, the decision may seem random, but from the empath's perspective, it is often necessary. They are not escaping life. They are reducing emotional overload. They are creating space to think clearly again. They are allowing their nervous system to recover from constant stimulation. Because of this, many empaths become highly selective about what they allow into their lives. They begin unfollowing accounts that create stress. They limit exposure to negativity. They reduce unnecessary emotional input. They become intentional about the environments they spend time in, both online and offline. This selectiveness often surprises people because it leads to another behavior that many empaths display. While social media encourages openness and constant sharing, empaths frequently move in the opposite direction. They start valuing privacy more than attention. In today's world, attention is often treated like a form of success. More followers, more views, more engagement, more visibility. Yet, many empaths are not searching for attention. They are searching for connection. These two things may appear similar, but psychologically, they are very different. Attention can come from anyone. Connection requires understanding. Attention is often temporary. Connection tends to be meaningful. This difference shapes the way empaths interact online. Many would rather have one genuine conversation than receive hundreds of superficial reactions. They often prefer depth over volume. They value trust over visibility. Because of this, sharing personal details with large audiences can feel uncomfortable. Not because they are ashamed, but because they do not always see the value in exposing private experiences to people who do not truly know them. Psychologists have long studied self-disclosure, the process of sharing personal information with others. Healthy relationships usually develop through gradual self-disclosure over time. Trust grows, understanding deepens, emotional safety increases. Empaths often follow this pattern naturally. They prefer meaningful disclosure within trusted relationships rather than broadcasting personal experiences to large groups of strangers. For many empaths, privacy feels emotionally safe. It gives them control over their boundaries. It allows them to decide who receives access to their thoughts, feelings, and experiences. This sense of control can be incredibly important because emotional openness already requires significant vulnerability. But privacy is only part of the story. There is another powerful reason many empaths hesitate to become highly visible online. It involves the hidden psychological rewards built into social media itself, and the way those rewards can slowly influence a person's sense of self-worth. Every notification creates anticipation. Every like creates a small sense of reward. Every positive comment offers a moment of approval. Social media platforms are designed around these feedback loops. The human brain naturally responds to recognition and validation. This is not a weakness. It is part of human psychology. The problem begins when a person's identity becomes dependent on that validation. Many empaths become aware of this risk earlier than other people. They notice subtle changes in their emotional state. They notice when their mood improves because a post performs well. They notice disappointment when reactions are lower than expected. They notice when external approval starts influencing internal peace. Once they recognize this pattern, many begin pulling away from it. They understand that self-worth built on reactions can become unstable. Some days the attention is there, some days it is not. If identity depends on public approval, emotional stability becomes difficult to maintain. This awareness pushes many empaths toward a different path. Rather than measuring value through attention, they focus on maintaining a stronger connection with their inner sense of worth. Psychologists often describe this as the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic self-worth. Extrinsic self-worth depends on external factors such as praise, status, recognition, or approval. Intrinsic self-worth comes from internal values, personal integrity, and self-acceptance. Many empaths gradually realize that inner peace feels far more satisfying than chasing endless validation. This creates another important behavior. One of the most noticeable differences between empaths and many other social media users is that empaths often spend far more time observing than performing. In a world where people are encouraged to constantly share, react, comment, and display their lives, empaths frequently choose a quieter role. They watch, they listen, they pay attention. While others are focused on being noticed, empaths are often focused on understanding what is happening beneath the surface. This observer mindset develops naturally. It is not usually a strategy. It is simply how many empaths interact with the world. From an early age, they become interested in people. They notice emotional shifts. They notice contradictions between words and actions. They notice the subtle details that reveal what someone is truly feeling. Over time, this habit becomes automatic. Social media provides an endless opportunity for observation. Every post tells a story. Every comment reveals an attitude. Every interaction exposes a small piece of human behavior. While some users see social media as a stage, empaths often see it as a window into human nature. They learn by watching. They notice who seeks approval. They notice who is struggling. They notice who is pretending. They notice who is genuinely happy. They notice patterns that many people never take the time to see. This is one reason many empaths do not feel a strong need to constantly post about themselves. Their attention is directed outward rather than inward. They are often more interested in understanding others than promoting themselves. While many social media platforms encourage performance, empaths frequently prefer observation. They gain insight from watching human behavior unfold in real time. Every interaction becomes information. Every conversation becomes a lesson. For many empaths, understanding feels more rewarding than attention. This is an important distinction because social media often blurs the line between visibility and value. Many people begin to believe that being seen is the same as being important. The more attention they receive, the more significant they feel. Empaths often view this differently. They understand that attention can be temporary. Trends change. Audiences move on. Public interest rises and falls. Because of this, they tend to focus on deeper forms of understanding rather than short-term recognition. They also recognize that not all attention is healthy. Some attention comes from admiration, some comes from curiosity, some comes from criticism, some comes from conflict. Social media does not always distinguish between positive and negative visibility. The algorithm rewards engagement regardless of emotional quality. Empaths often become aware of this dynamic. They realize that attracting attention can sometimes invite unnecessary emotional complications. Instead of pursuing visibility for its own sake, they remain focused on understanding themselves and others. This observer mindset helps many empaths stay grounded. When people become trapped in constant self-presentation, they can begin losing touch with their authentic thoughts and feelings. Their focus shifts toward managing perceptions. They become concerned with how others see them. They start adjusting their behavior to meet expectations. Empaths often sense this risk. By remaining observers, they maintain a stronger connection with reality. They spend less time constructing an image and more time understanding what is actually happening around them. Observation also provides emotional clarity. Rather than reacting immediately, empaths often pause and reflect. They gather information before forming conclusions. They look beyond appearances. They search for motivations.